everyone. So I'm driving the Accord and I wanted to go ahead and do a freeway drive to show you how it behaves on the highway after its transmission rebuild. It's still shifting great. I mean, it's only been 3 days, but it's like been awesome because this is now my Accord again. Versus before, I noticed subtle changes with the transmission and I couldn't pinpoint them out, and everybody was like, oh, you know, that's normal, this and that, until finally the shop caught it and was like, oh shit, maybe not. So it's nice because I have my Accord back. This is my Accord, this is the way I remember it driving, and it's awesome. Okay, so we're gonna get on the highway. I'm gonna do a little bit of a kickdown, but I'm not going to be doing anything crazy. I want this transmission to break in properly. So give me 1 second. This Titan is tailgating me and I'm not happy about that. Sorry, I'll go down a second. It's very quick, like it's a quick shift. It's not a sluggish shift anymore. It's nice. Okay, so now we're gonna get onto the highway and I'm gonna go ahead and take my foot on and off the gas periodically on the freeway to show you guys what it was doing. So in my other videos, you may not have noticed it because it was very subtle, but I would take my foot off and then put my foot back on and it would disengage momentarily, have the RPMs kind of go down about 100 and then go right back up and lock up the torque converter. It doesn't do that anymore. Actually, it holds the pressure nicely, it shifts nicely, and the lockup is barely noticeable on it. Before, when I was driving, I would feel the lockup sort of engage, but it would be a kind of a hard engagement. It wouldn't be something that's enjoyable. I always thought that was normal, so that's one thing I do have to get used to, because now you don't even feel the lockup engage anymore. So, I mean, it's a good thing, and at the same time, it's kind of like, oh shit, I gotta get used to it again. When I'm below 50 miles an hour, it will disengage when I hit the gas, just because that's its range. Let's go ahead and get over, because this 5th gen Honda Accord is just going too slow for me right now. I'm also really tired. I drove the Expedition for the first time on the highway. Definitely, it was something to get used to. I'm not used to driving something so high. Very comfortable, I must say. The ride is a little bit wobbly. That's one thing I noticed, is the ride on the Expeditions. I mean, a lot of SUVs too. It's just very wobbly. That's how people, you know, made the car. So it was nice though. I'm not going to complain about it. It was actually really enjoyable. I did not mind driving that whatsoever. The transmission on the Expedition, I did notice though, is very, very hesitant to downshift. This one, I can put my foot about halfway to the floor and it'll downshift into 3rd. And even if I just apply a little bit of throttle, it'll disengage the torque converter and give you a little bit more power. But otherwise, the Expedition will leave the torque converter engaged and it'll accelerate. I mean, the low-end torque is really, really nice. That's one thing that definitely I'm cool with on this truck, because you know, it just feels confident. That's the best way to describe it. I mean, the RPMs do run low on the highway, but I mean, that's a V8 engine, so the transmission obviously is going to be geared differently. But otherwise, it's been great. This is like I said, this is my Accord again. This is the Accord that I remember driving in 2011. The only thing is that I did have to adjust the idle at some points just because it was back and forth a lot, and it was after Pep Boys reset the battery. So I mean, it wasn't really like my fault. It was Pep Boys' fault. Sorry, the speed limit changes, and this part of the highway is like filled with highway patrol, so I'm just being careful. And I know this sounds bad, but I really was hoping that the transmission whine would not go away, because it just sounds really cool. Like, that is one thing that I really liked about this car, was the whine that it makes. And it's I don't know what it is. If anybody can tell me what that is actually whining, what is actually whining, I'm sorry, I cannot speak English. But what is actually whining on this car, it'd be pretty cool, because it's like, it goes up with the engine and it actually pitches up. Like, if you hear it, listen closely as I speed up, the whine becomes more high pitched, and it's actually kind of interesting. It's nice though. It's kind of cool actually, if you ask me. I know the V6 Accords and the Odysseys, they had a transmission whine, but I'm not sure if the 4 cylinders were pretty famous for that. engine on this is awesome. Definitely, like I said, the rebuild was worth it. Just you know, research your car, research what rebuild you need, and research the updates on the transmission. Other than that, it should be fine. And I just received word that the Altima might be getting traded in. So if you guys, whatchamacallit, if you guys want to, I can put one more video up, but I'm not sure if it's going to be traded in. My mom's thinking about it though, because the problems are just getting one after another and worse. I had talked to a coworker today, and he used to have a Honda Civic, but he had a friend that had like I think it was an 04 Altima, so it was before the small changes that were made. But the 04 Altima that he had, it was the worst. Like, legitimately, the engine blew up due to catalytic converter failure, and the transmission kept slipping from second to third. It was like and I think Nissan had a TSB for that or something like that, or like a class action lawsuit. The gear or second gear would flare up and like go into third. It wouldn't shift hard. I've heard though that you can wire a 75 OHM resistor to replace the 12, and it'll like mask it probably for about 6 months. So if you guys are having the issue, try to put a higher ohm resistor on it, and what that will do is it'll make the transmission shift harder from first to second and third to fourth, but it will make second and third shift normal. Now, it's not something that you want to like just do on a regular basis, but if it's something that you want to mask the problem with just to get the car by, definitely go for it. But guys, I'm running out of camera space, and I'm also about to get off the highway. So if any of you do have questions about the car, let me know. I will go ahead and answer them accordingly. But yes, the car itself is driving phenomenal. I am very impressed with the work done in this car. I cannot say it enough. Good Care Transmission in Las Vegas is by far the best place I've been to. So if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.